Everyone, and thanks for being with me. I just want to talk about a subject which doesn't get that much airing in Australia, or in the rest of the world for that matter, but it's an important subject that we as Australians certainly need to focus on. And this is part of my continual theme about the impact that the United States has on Australia. Now, the PBS, which is a pharmaceutical benefit scheme, provides an opportunity for Australians to receive cheap medication. Now, we have one of the best health systems in the world. I'm not suggesting that we have the best, but we're certainly up there in terms of universal health care. It's important to all Australians, and it's something that those poor people in America are unable to benefit from because you're backward, you're stupid, and you're influenced by Big Pharma. And I want to talk a little bit about how Big Pharma are trying to influence Australia in terms of tariffs that Big Pharma believe that should be imposed upon Australia, because Big Pharma find it's unfair that we're able to lower costs and we're able to, through the TGA, to limit what can be purchased and brought into Australia based on their level of efficacy. So I'm going to play just a short video from the Department of Health, which helps to explain, for those of you who may not be aware, and those of you from overseas who may not be aware of what the PBS actually is. So here it is.
Jenny lives in Australia and has to take medication daily for a medical condition. But she couldn't afford it if she had to pay full price for her meds. The Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, or PBS, subsidises thousands of medicines, helping millions of Australians get the medicine they need. This includes generic brands, and now also new biosimilar brands. Every medicine needs to pass an evaluation by the Therapeutic Goods Administration for safety, quality and effectiveness before it can be sold in Australia, which gives Jenny and all Australians confidence that medicines we can access from Australian pharmacies all meet the same standards. Lower prices means less pressure on the PBS, which in turn creates room for new medicines to be listed on the PBS, meaning more treatment options for more Australians.
So it's clear that the PBS is an advantage to Australians, but not necessarily an advantage to Big Pharma, particularly in the US. Now, I can't understand why they're specifically concerned about a country that's the size of 27 million people compared to the United States and the rest of the world. But nevertheless, they are, because Big Pharma is a greedy bunch of bastards who wish to be able to get the maximum amount of dollars they can, or profit, from whatever medicine they're distributing. So Australia, though, is under the attack by Big Pharma because they have chosen to seek tariffs on Australia as a result of just that. So there's this interesting article which describes all of this for us. And it says, so it says lots of things, but basically it says, in a submission to the US government, it describes the PS as one of the most egregious and discriminatory pricing regimes that actively limits prices and earnings. Oh, the poor things. It's so sad. Calling on the US government to impose punishing tariffs, it claims the scheme undermines American competitiveness, jobs and exports. And it goes on to say, another gripe from the American pharma giants is that Australia delays the introduction of new medications. It does through the TGA, of course, as the Pharmaceutical Benefits Advisory Committee deliberates over their effectiveness. Seems reasonable to me, but clearly not to these characters. This delay, the US Pharma Lobby Group complains, amounts to a non-tariff barrier and a restriction on trade. Oh, you've got to feel sorry for them, don't you? Bit of empathy for these large organisations to rip people off and put opioids out in the community. This delay, the US Pharma Lobby Group complains, amounts to non-tariff barrier, right? Ironically, some American health officials opposed the changes imposed upon Australia during the free trade negotiation 20 years ago, and were pushing for a similar scheme to the PBS to be implemented in the US. For a nation at the forefront of medical innovation and drug manufacturing, vast numbers of Americans simply can't afford to access the access to vital medicines. So Americans are unable to receive the medications that they require simply because the Big Pharma has chosen to challenge any limitations that can be imposed upon the profits that they make. Now, in anybody's language, this is wrong. But they are endeavouring to attack Australia so that here in Australia we will find that we are having to pay higher for our medicines because they are imposing tariffs. And whichever way you look at it, it's wrong. And certainly I don't think that it will matter all that much, even if tariffs are imposed. But to use it as a tool against Australia is shameful. And it should be something that we all should acknowledge as being unfair, as being wrong, as being something which we all should stand up against. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And remember to subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell for further notifications. That would be greatly appreciated. In the meantime, think about this. But take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.